Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
So I wanted to take a moment to tell you what we're going to role play today. Now, before I do, and this is just a topic that I wanted to cover with you really quickly, I've noticed that for some of our sales staff, after they finish a meeting, they're not putting notes in the finished sales meeting in the history and CRM. So do me a favor. I'm going to ask you and all the rest of our staff to make sure that they click on the history tab after a meeting appointment and tell a story in the comments section so that when we're doing a make a deal like we were this morning, it's a little easier for a manager to put the pieces together if they can actually TO the deal.
Got it.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Fabulous. Okay, so this morning what we're going to talk about is using alternatives. Now, I referenced our Cardone training book, and I took away some really good points in here that we're going to use today that will help you use alternatives to close better and sell more cars. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. What we're going to do is discuss how using alternatives can help make you a couple more deals every month, okay? Now, I was thinking about it, and when we talk about providing alternatives, I think a really strong part to using alternatives to help you sell cars is using the actual inventory, right?
Correct.
So customers talk all the time about a package they want and a wheel option and a color, and I think it's really important that we use our actual inventory and say, would you prefer this car with this equipment or this car with that equipment? Now, the reason that I thought that was important to tell you is because you and I both know everyone goes online before they come in. They usually inquire on a particular stock number, and half of the time the car's either sold or not the right car when they show up that they wind up buying, right?
Right.
Even if it is the right car, they may have put themselves on too much or too little car. Would you agree?
Agree.
Awesome. So my point is, make sure that you're using the actual inventory that we have to provide alternatives to what they came in to see, to give them all the information they need to make a good choice. Now, this really stuck out to me because I was thinking about the story that Mick was talking about when he went to buy a TV. I don't know if you've heard the story.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So I was thinking about it, and I went to Best Buy a few weeks ago. I was on a staycation, right? And I'm thinking about, changing up some stuff in my basement. I'd really like to get a new TV. So I have no baseline to know what size TV, what features, and what price I should pay for a TV until I walk in and see the wall of TVs that are organized by price and size and say, okay, this is kind of what I want to spend. I could go up a little bit and maybe get a better picture or a bigger screen, or I could go down a little bit and get a better picture and a smaller screen, right?
Right.
I really can't make that determination when I'm on bestbuy.com. I need to go there and I need to see the inventory. I need to have a salesperson kind of guide me to say, okay, Mr. Customer, what's more important? Is it the screen size? Would you like to go up to a 60? Now, maybe that's only a 1080p and the other one is a 2040p. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but you get the idea. We could say, Mr. Customer, do you want an M Sport package? Is that must-have equipment? Or would you consider saving yourself that $2,500 for the cost of the package and reducing your monthly payment on that lease by 30 or 40 bucks a month? And I think that's a really good way to not only gauge if you're on the right car, but if they're really committed to the car that they thought they were. Because some customers are going to say, hey Al, it's not about the 40, 50 bucks a month, I want the M Sport package. Some customers are going to say, oh really? I didn't realize it affects the payment that much. Yeah, let's kind of take a look at what you have, right? At the end of the day, when a customer walks in and says, I'm here to see a new 3 Series, what are they really telling you? What they're really telling you is they want to replace the car they're driving.
Right.
They might think it's a 3 Series. They may not know that a 4 Series Grand Coupe provides a better value and a more fun driving experience. And to the things that are important to that customer, maybe they belong in a 4 Series Grand Coupe. It's our job through a good needs assessment to understand what they really want and steer them to the right decision. It's also our job to validate what they've come in to see, but maybe provide some alternatives to make sure that we're setting ourselves up to close. Because if we've landed them on too much car and it's not going to be in the payment range that they're currently in, not that they want, but they're currently in, we're probably going to have a little tougher time negotiating at the end and getting them behind the wheel today. Would you agree?
I agree.
Awesome. So, so I wanted to talk about 6 ideas that Steve covered with us about intelligently offering alternatives. The first one is that we need to offer alternatives, or at least plant the seed of offering alternatives at the greeting. So in that information overload, when we say, Al, welcome to Motorworks BMW. My name is Al. Thank you so much for considering us and coming in today. What type of information can I provide you? By the way, Mr. Customer, I'm going to provide you with lease, retail, an idea of what your trade is worth, some alternatives to that model that you're considering. We're going to get all that done today before you leave. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair.
That's where the seed is planted for presenting alternatives to help you close, okay? The second tip that I took away was the pre-appraisal and guest sheet. So during the pre-appraisal and during your completion of the guest sheet, we're going to get a good idea of what alternatives may be appropriate to provide the customer with, right?
Right.
So important that we get out in the customer's car, start talking to them about it, turn the buyer into a seller and see what they think's great about their car and maybe what's not. Number 3, lot walk, or really even computer search, right? A walk around on the vehicle. So I think what I'm going to show you later today as part of our role play is walking up to the window sticker on the car and walking through not only the standard features, but the optional equipment and the fuel economy. I think that also lends itself to really being able to offer a package up or package down alternative. And that also will test the commitment to the car you're showing them and either reaffirm that car or steer you in which way to provide them with an alternative.
Got it.
Before the test drive, in the walk around with the MSRP, that's what I just talked about. And then before the write-up, right? Because when we get back from the test drive, that's a great time to say, hey, did you really enjoy the M Sport package? Did you find value in the 19-inch wheels and the thicker steering wheel and the 20-way power seats? Is that going to be something that you're willing to pay an extra $50 or $60 a month for? So at all these points, we're testing the commitment to the car, trial closing, and also making sure that we're setting ourselves up to present an alternative that will be viable for the customer to buy. And then the last one, of course, is in the close. So you're going to start seeing, Al, I've discussed this with the other sales managers. We really think that when all goes well in these first 5 steps and you're identifying some cars that will be a good alternative, and let me give you an example of that. I keep talking about M Sport. That new 5 Series out on the showroom floor that he's here to see has M Sport, but it's a $3,500 option. On that particular car, it's $60, $70 a month, right?
Yeah.
So let's protect our gross. And if you get the idea of an alternative being a non-M Sport early in the game, when we get to the close, we're going to pencil an M Sport that they came in on along with a non-M Sport to show them the savings. Let's try to protect our gross profit and negotiate equipment on the car. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Awesome. Let's go walk out to the car and I'll show you what I mean.
Let's go.
So, Mr. Customer, we've just done a walk around of the vehicle.
Yeah, very nice.
The place I like to wind up is right at the passenger door where I'm going to put you inside and take you for a test drive, right, Al?
Right. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Before we do that, what I like to do is as I'm opening the door, I review the window sticker on the car because it's typically passenger side rear door.
Right.
So it lends itself to be a great time to go over the window sticker right before you head off on the test drive. Okay, so the window sticker's up on the window of the car. Here's how I like to present the alternative. Mr. Customer, as you've seen, there's a ton of standard features that come in this BMW X5. I know you're driving that 3-year-old X5. You're not going to believe how far the technology has come. So this vehicle has the 2.0 liter twin turbo power 4-cylinder. Now I noticed that you're driving the 2013 X5, Al.
Correct.
Take a look at the fuel economy you're going to expect on this new one. So 27 blended miles per gallon, 33 highway. What are you getting now? Probably 20, if that? 18, yeah, right. So, I mean, think about, you know, could be the difference between you filling up 5 times a month like you currently do, or 3 times a month in this new car.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out. Here's all the standard features on the vehicle. Here's all the standard features on the vehicle. Here's all the optional equipment.
Got it.
So, as we were talking about, cold weather package, driver assistance package, that's that heads-up display, backup sensors, camera. Driver assistant plus with the blind spot detection that we've already discussed you'd really like for your wife. We order that, you know, that's on typically 70% of the new X5s that we have in stock, okay? Because the feedback from our customers are, those are items of great value, almost everyone wants it. Now, what I'd like to ask you is this M Sport package that you were saying you really like the wheels on this one. That M Sport package is a $3,600 option. So right before I get you in the car and I'm running you through the window sticker, I offer an alternative to help close and reaffirm that we're on the right car. Here's how it goes. So Al, like I was saying, this is standard. Most of our customers really see the value in these packages. I wanted to ask you about that M Sport package. The 19-inch wheels, the M Sport seats, that thicker M Sport steering wheel. I know you love it all, as do I. Comes at a price. That's a $3,600 package. Let me ask you a question. Would you consider a non-M Sport package X5 if it saved you $60, $70 a month in your next lease payment?
Sure.
Great. So Al, when the customer says sure, what that's saying is he's not married to this M Sport package, right? Now I'm going to continue on. I'm going to put you in the passenger seat. We're going to go for a test drive. I'm not going to switch cars right now, but I know that when I go inside and I'm going to work the deal with the desk manager, I'm going to let him know I offered the alternative of a non-sport, and he seemed really agreeable to it. So that tells us a couple of things. One, he's probably not completely set on this exact car we're test driving. And two, when we present our first pencil, we're going to offer this M Sport package, which he liked, and we're going to offer a non-M Sport package, which he said he would like the savings on. So rather than, when we sit down, rather than pencil them only on an M Sport and fight about, we know his current payment's $700, this one's going to be $900, rather than fight to bridge that gap, let's take some of that out of it and say, Mr. Customer, like we discussed, without the M Sport package, you're much closer to where you're currently at. Sound like a good idea?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Okay, great. Now we're going to switch and you're going to role play with me doing the same.